Hello my dear baby Laura and everyone else, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. So here we are, set out to join the peoples of Ferelden.
Speak.
So yeah, we will need flasks. Yeah, that's one thing I have to remember. And what else? Well, I have been talking to my dear baby Laura a lot about my experiences and talks, and so unfortunately, since I did that already, there is no way I will go through all of that again. So yeah, anyone else who might be watching or will be watching is lost on some of my role-playing talks. However, if they will come up, what I have been thinking, then I will of course talk about them. So let me familiarize myself a little bit. So I'm level 6 now. And Noble. Toby is 4. Alistair is 6 and he's Templar. And Morrigan is 7. And Shapeshifter Mage. Oh yeah, I have been thinking about that. The spider form. And I have been thinking of how not really useful this shape-shifting seems to me, because you cannot use all of your other magics when you are in the shape-shifting mode, so yeah. And not to speak about the...
So be it.
Yeah, there is this, like, I don't know, 3-second duration while it's shifting to form, so obviously not very useful to do that during combat, because that's 3 seconds the character not doing anything. So yeah. So I'm wondering of the usefulness. It says that it gains a large bonus to nature resistance, so I guess if an enemy is attacking us with nature damage, then this can be a useful defense if it's attacking our mage, Morrigan. So yeah, we get the poison spit, which is nature damage, which is strange. If someone is attacking us with the nature attack, then one would think that probably also have a resistance to nature damage, and such. Yeah, like, you know, this spider here. It's have a large resistance to nature damage, and have nature damage causing abilities, so yeah. So that's interesting. So defensively, if the enemy is attacking Morrigan with nature damage, then I could use this form, and offensively, if the enemy is weak to nature damage. Yeah, and the web, immobilizing it for a short time, 30-second cooldown, that's a lot. And this a 50-second cooldown, so not only it only have 2 abilities with not much mana cost either, 5 and 11. So yeah, that's silly, not much mana cost, but you know, big cooldown. I mean, with 30-second cooldown, you know, I don't see how you can use this more than like twice in a long battle. I mean, battles tends to be short and brutal, so yeah. 11, and yeah, so it have long cooldown but little mana cost, so that's not making any sense. Yeah, 75% nature resistance. And where's the total amount of mana? There. So yeah, 161, and then this is just so little mana cost, but then have so much cooldown. Okay. Yeah, we have Master Corazon, that great, we are now the diplomat I wanted to be. Yeah, but we really need to get the improved combat training. Okay, so that's that. How about our inventory? Our inventory looks good. And on the world map, so yeah, I see that Lothering is ahead of us, and I see the Sucre Pass, and I asked my baby Laura about it, and told me that it's a DLC location, and I should go there later, definitely not, you know, like early, because it would not make sense to me otherwise. That's what she said. Red Cliff Village, Castro, Lothering, Bastion Outskirt, Denerim, the Circle Tower, and the Frostback Mountains. Although this icon is here, Frostback Mountain, but the Frostback Mountains text is over here. However, yeah, I can assume that this is this mountain range here. The hinterland. Yeah, it's not that easy to read this map. I mean, this is obviously a or elevation map, with the green being the lowlands and the browns being higher lands, and then the mountains are of course the dark brown. The hinterlands look like the highest mountains according to this. And then the Courtsaly rise, and then down to it is uncharted territories. Okay. I can also go to the party camp. And I already discovered here. Oh, got I your party and venture first? No. Did I talk with Morrigan? I think I did.
The time has come to leave the wilds. Do you not agree?
What do you need?
Yeah, I talked with you too. Yeah, and I spoke my mind to Alistair that the lyrium, using the lyrium to control the Templars is an efficient way of controlling them, and of course he took it as a personal attack, and yeah, that went past by me. I didn't, yeah, I am socially awkward, and I didn't talk to him. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of what I am saying will affect him negatively. So that was my bad, personally. It was the player's bad. However, my character, is diplomat and should have realized that that would be a personal matter to him. So I role-played this as if he knew that he might misunderstood it. However, he still decided to speak his mind, as his point of view is, honorable. And yeah, using the Delirium dependency on the Templars is an efficient way to control them indeed. That Toby. Anything else? I did this once, but yeah, nothing. Okay, so what I am curious of is this part again. Oh, we can go here. Okay. Aha, I remember this one. So gather your party adventure. Oh, and this main menu music, I like it. And the sky is purple, and there is that interesting moon with that big valley, it looks like, and then there's a crater. Yeah, this main menu music is beautiful indeed. But yeah, I disabled the stupid DLC that makes it the gifts and everything available, and the other the OP gifts, and the other thing I disabled was the Blood Dragon armor that I just start out with, and I found that to be stupid. Okay, Morrigan, let's see what you got here. And you also kind of separate from Alistair over there. So what are we having here? A bed? Scrolls, of course. Oh, what's it called? And what are these? Elixir bottles? And what this? A recipe? Okay. Let's talk, Morrigan.
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Yeah, how did you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Your mother has been doing this for a long time, then.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change into other human forms?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Can anyone become such?
Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell, and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
Do you spend a lot of time as animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But
Kitty
my
cat?
life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
And what do other animals think of you when you change, Kitty cat?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
Never heard of this magic.
No, 'tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could, but as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
That's good. Such traditions need to be preserved.
I am surprised you think so. Still, 'tis a pleasant thing to hear.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then?
Yeah.
Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
No. I think quite useful.
Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you?
Little.
But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Dust gather on us. The dust gather on us.
What do you wish of me?
Anything else?
If you must.
Did you go up there?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You can prove me anytime. You can prove me anytime.
Beg pardon, then, while I jump for joy. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed.
For the most part. Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Were you hurt?
Was I hurt? What manner of simpering weakling do you take me for? Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be travelling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was great thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Were you upset by all the bad touching?
At least with that sort of touching, I would have been able to intuit the intent with far greater ease. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
You can go back if you like.
I have no qualm with the mission I have been set to. Flemeth was correct, like it or not. The Darkspawn are an enemy of all. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us,
The
yes?
ground opens up and swallows us.
Yes?
Yes.
If you must.
And so you have been surely haunted by the Chantry.
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Of course I don't. 'Tis no matter. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth
Yeah.
made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Here's the fun begins. I feel sorry for the Templars.
They came with as much swagger and arrogance as they did self-righteousness. Pity them if you wish, for they held none for us.
Yeah.
Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably
I
failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Surely more would have followed.
Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Maleficarum. Well, I guess they got what they deserved. They came into your territory hunting you.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary.
Right.
The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil
Aha,
mages that
evil
resort to
mage.
blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say, I agree completely. As you know, blatantly simple this answer is, this is what I think. Yes, I agree with you.
Oh, I hope you are not simply being agreeable.
No.
It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. Yes?
Is
If you
there...
must.
Yes, I must. Is Flemeth really what seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
I'm not the old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Yeah.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries. before this land was even named Ferelden.
Mm-hmm.
The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar,
The Red
and that
Lord.
he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar.
I see.
Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife.
Uh-oh.
And Osen agreed.
Seems no. Flemeth must have been
The
angry.
life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the
What?
arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end
Oh,
of the
no.
bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead.
Now Flemeth
Flemeth
is
spoke
angry.
to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then.
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him.
Yeah.
Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later.
Mhm.
Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong.
Uh-oh.
The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
She never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only
Propaganda.
attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Uh-huh, so the two things was washed together, I see. And how is Flemeth still alive? That part with the pact with the demon doesn't sound good to me.
The demon within her has
Yeah.
transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Okay. The legends tell Flemeth had many daughters. Are you one of them?
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first?
No.
I doubt that too.
Yeah, so... So either she had a bunch of daughters at once, and so that's why the many witches, or it is possible that she always had a daughter as a student. Okay. Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters.
Uh-huh.
They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Maybe that's how she's still alive. Maybe she gains... That sounds pretty reasonable to me, although I know very little of the magic or Dragon Age, but yeah, that sounds pretty typical to me. Maybe Flamet can stay alive, or probably regain some of her years, get younger by eating her daughters. It you know what? You know what? I just have a theory just by this. You know what? Instead of daughters, you know what? All of the witches and Morrigan could be a clone of Flamet. Could be a clone of Flamet, and so she raised them to get to be powerful mages, and then consumes them. I mean, probably not literally, more like magically, and that's how she regains some of her youth. And so she periodically does this. This is just a theory I just made up on the spot by this information here. Wow. I'm loving this game. And I'm loving this game, and I am not feeling sorry that I failed to appreciate it earlier. Everything have its own time, and so it could be that a year ago I was just simply not ready for this. I was not in the spirit of things, and so I was not ready, and now I am ready to experience this and enjoy this. And now I am enjoying it like a lot. So thank you, Laura, for proposing this game. You know, it was all worth it, waiting for this. Because yeah, you see, just like that, this idea popped into my head. I mean, this is nothing new. I know of similar stuff. For example, in Star Wars, there is that, and I don't know where else I read something like this. But yeah, this is nothing new to fantasy. So yeah, this is a nice theory, I say. I like it. I like it. So yeah, it could be that Morrigan is well. It could be that Morrigan is just a daughter. So yeah, it could be that she's an actual daughter of Flamet. Unlikely. It could be that she is a daughter that she made with magic, so that she can consume later, or what I just babbled out randomly, seemingly, but she could be also like an exact clone of Flamet. I mean, we don't know how she looked. I just know that she was very beautiful when she was young, and Morrigan is very beautiful. I mean, assumedly. So yeah. I mean, not to my personal taste, of course, but yeah. So that's an interesting theory I just made up. Okay, so, do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
Oh, interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious, nevertheless.
My mother died recently, in fact.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth.
Oh.
Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Okay.
Yes?
I don't think
If
there's
you must.
anything else here. So yeah,
I
this
cannot
will
teach
be...
you, no. But any other mages that cared to learn, yes, I could do that. Send whoever you wish my way, and I shall teach them what I can in the camp, provided they possess the will to even make the attempt.
Oh, specialization unlocked. Oh, wow. Oh, also I forgot that I actually didn't do one of the Corsair Wild missions, that the Science of Chasing. Of course, not under the completed missions. Controls. Party camp. All of your party's injuries are healed when you return to camp. Okay. So that's great. So yeah, these are the 4 things here. And that last clip I also have this. And Suka Flash. Troubled merchant awaits with a deal. Must magic just too good to be true. Okay. So things are going well with Morrigan. She approves of me.
Yes?
So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
That sounds wonderful.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. It was encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
Cool. What happened then?
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Yes. But yeah, they're thinking from the point of view of Flemeth, she was pretty much right to do that, because yeah, being not on full power, as you said yourself, if you know any of the guards would have saw you, they could have catch you, and then all the time Flemeth spent you raising you would have been wasted. I'm thinking of Flemeth's point of view, and Flemeth seems like a pretty what's the term? Hard? No, not hard. But yeah, I mean, the way Flemeth has been talking to you, yeah, it seems like she looks at you more like a tool than an actual child. So yeah, I'm thinking that yeah, Flemeth was right, because yeah, you did endanger yourself, and then you know that Flemeth did a lot for you. However, as I said, might be for the wrong reasons, but yeah, so Flemeth was right.
Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning.
That's not what I meant.
Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Yeah, that made you stronger. Yeah, and that's a harsh lesson to teach a child. In the circumstances, yes. But that's right, you don't need to be like that. Yeah, I definitely don't feel sorry for you because of the circumstances. These two are true, I mean, yeah. Because of the circumstances, because of Flemeth being an illegal mage. And that you were young and she needed to teach you to don't risk yourself like that. Yeah, that made you stronger, and that's a hard lesson to teach a child. Yeah, I agree with this. And that's also true, but you don't need to live that way any longer. I mean, this is true, too. However, Morrigan might be way too old now for her to change her ways, but yeah, I would say this is what I'm actually... I think these two, but yeah, this is what I would want to say. Even though, yeah, I don't see this actually working out.
Do I not? I am still an apostate mage, even if I have left the wilds. The Darkspawn are yet undefeated. No, there is much that remains. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
I agree, mostly.
Yes?
Yes? So yeah,
If you
that's
must.
all of our conversations. That's nice. I have managed to turn Alistair to my side. That will be helpful. Toby!
Oh, why, you little...
Are you harassing my dog?
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Good boy, teach that silly Alistair a lesson.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Okay, Alistair doesn't disapprove. Okay.
I once heard a really old legend about how hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh. Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
I would have never fed you a human being.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
Oh, look at what your fool dog placed in my pack. A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
I think he thinks you need more meat on your bones.
I think I have enough meat where it counts, and I certainly don't need it in my pack. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
You heard that, lady.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
I think you hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Yes. Trying to find a way to the Earth Highway. It's going to take some time, you know. Well, good luck with that then. Pet Toby. Okay. So none of the Toby interactions, you know, actually matter since he always will love me, and none of the other characters had any change to their attributes, relationship with me. So this is Alistair. Oh, kneeling by the fire. Cheese! The guitar. And I'm not sure what are those. Daggers, harvesting tools and stone. Fur? Yeah, fur. I also, yeah, fur. Okay. Wine or water, could be just water. Okay, hi Alistair, what are you doing there?
What do you need?
Let's talk.
Ask away. Such as they are.
Okay.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need?
So we cannot have any more conversation. Okay, if there's anything else here, I already went around. Yeah, I remember those merchants from where I bought the stuff. So with disabling the DLC, they are not here. Seems like. Let's double make sure we don't have any more to say with Morrigan.
Yes? If you must.
Okay.
I cannot teach you,
You
no.
already told
Send
me.
whoever you wish.
Okay, you got that already, so thank you, game. Okay. So yeah, let's end the episode here. We have made Morrigan like us more, which is cool. And if we will have any other mage, you can teach them to be shapeshifter, but I don't see why I would want to do that, so yeah. So, this was Dragon Age Origins. I hope you had fun. I had great fun. See you next time. Bye bye.